Now, Jesus cares about what matters to you, and part of loving Jesus is caring about what matters to others. This is an instant message. What's going on? I'm Alex. I'm actually one of the leaders here, and welcome to F1oorOneTV. We're actually a team of students, creatives, and youth pastors that just want to make videos for you guys. We hope that when you come to our channel, you'll be challenged, you'll be encouraged, and hopefully inspired. Now first, I want to say hello to those of you who've been watching our content week after week. But if you're new here, hit the subscribe button right now. Now you as students all have one thing in common. You all want to be seen, you want to be known and valued for who you are. You don't want fake relationships, you want personal ones. Now in this series, we're actually going to be looking at 5 specific questions you can ask to make those relationships in your lives a whole lot real and a lot more personal. Now, how do we know we can make this happen? Well, because we're actually taking a tip from the way Jesus did it. And to give you an idea of just how to make everything, including your relationship with Him, a little more personal.
Hi, my name is Beatrice and I'm a junior. And this is where I live. If you'd look where I live, you'd think my life is pretty much like yours. But if you really knew me, you know there's more to the story. I'm a first-generation immigrant from Brazil, and that means that life in my house can be crazy and chaotic and a little bit unconventional. And for example, we speak Portuguese at my house, so it's not always super easy for my parents to figure out school stuff when it's in a different language. And you know, sometimes at parties and stuff, I feel a little bit out of place and like I don't fit in, and even a little bit marginalized. But one thing I've learned from being in an immigrant family is to just embrace my identity, even if it's not like everyone else's, and to be confident in exactly who God made me to be. Hey, I get it, every family has a story, but you can't really know me until you know what it's like where I live. This isn't just my home, it's part of my story, and it's personal.
So when I was in high school, I had a friend named Sean, and Sean was one of my best friends, and we were a part of a friend group at church, and we were all best friends. We did everything together. And Sean was just the guy that we always joked around with. You know, I never realized how bad the joking was because I wasn't the guy that was getting pranks pulled on him all the time and really honestly getting picked on all the time. You know, I just thought that that's what was okay, and I just thought Sean was okay with it. And I remember we were at church one night, and somebody had said something, and Sean got really upset, and then he just kind of lost it, like he unloaded on everybody. And it was one of those weird moments where, you know, your friend gets mad and they leave the room, and then all your other friends are like, this is weird, what do we do? Who's going to be the first person to chase after him? Well, I was that person. I went to my friend, and I just checked in on him. I said, hey, what's going on? And come to find out that Sean hated getting picked on. He hated the jokes. He just accepted it because he believed that the only way we were all going to be friends with him was if we picked on him. And that was a really hard day for me. For one, I thought I really knew my friend. I knew my friend Sean. To come to find out that I didn't really know him at all. And then I thought I really knew myself, only to come find out that I didn't really know myself at all. You ever been in a situation like that? Where you thought you knew somebody or you thought you knew yourself, and then something happens and it's like, wow, I didn't know that that was happening. And I think a lot of people feel like that. Matter of fact, I believe that the majority of people don't feel like anybody really gets them 100%, which is sad. Like, we were made to be known. You were made to be known. Everybody deserves to have somebody in their life that knows them 100%. Without any issues, without any restrictions, and without any standards or complications. We deserve to be known, but unfortunately, there's so many of us that live life misunderstood, just wishing somebody would understand who we are. It's easy to do this when you read scripture. Like, Jesus hung out with a lot of Jewish people. A lot of his first followers were Jews. So it's easy to think that only Jewish people hung out with Jesus, and that means maybe only Jesus cared about Jewish people, but that's not true at all. When you read the Gospels, you read that Jesus hung out with everybody. Matter of fact, most of the people that Jesus cared the most about was the people who were mistreated, the people who were broken, and the people who were rejected. Which is why in Luke, this is a big surprise when we meet this guy named Zacchaeus, because nobody mistreated the mistreated more than Zacchaeus. He was a Jewish tax collector who worked for the Roman government, who ripped off other Jewish people. But on this day in Luke chapter 19, we find Jesus teaching to a crowd of people, and Zacchaeus shows up because Zacchaeus wants to know more about Jesus. I think it's like a lot of people. We want to know more about this Jesus. Like, we got to do something with Jesus. You got to figure out, is he who everybody at church says that he is? Or is he just a regular person? That's what Zacchaeus was trying to figure out that day. And at the end of Jesus' sermon, he does something that nobody can understand. He walks up to Zacchaeus, and in chapter 19, verse 5, it says, when Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and he said to him, Zacchaeus, come down. Immediately I must stay at your house today. Now, we talked about this last week. Having somebody at your house was a sign of deep friendship. So why would Jesus invite himself in to Zacchaeus' house? It was because Jesus wanted to understand Zacchaeus better. He wanted to figure out about the things that Zacchaeus cared about. And in the end, Jesus wanted to change his life. And he wanted Zacchaeus to care about the things that Jesus cared about. See, Jesus wanted to make it very personal with Zacchaeus. And Jesus wants to make it very personal with me and you. Because when it comes to Jesus, it's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. We talked about this last week because Jesus knows your name, but he knows more than just your name. He knows the things that you care about. He knows what's important to you. He knows what you're scared of. He knows the things that you want to achieve in your life, and he knows the things that you don't want anybody else to know about. But besides Jesus knowing all those things, here's what we know from the Gospels. Jesus cares about the things that you care about. He wants to be a part of your life. He doesn't want to control you like some robot. I know that's what people think when they think about God, that God just wants to turn us into these puppets. But that's actually very much the opposite. God loves us enough to actually give us the ability to make choices on our own. But man, he deeply wants to influence those choices because in the end, Jesus wants the best for us. He wants the best for you. And he cares about the things that you care about. Jesus has this lunch with Zacchaeus, and he completely changes his life around. And he wants to do the same thing for you this week. He wants to change your life. And so here's a challenge I want to give you. I invite you this week to spend some time talking to Jesus about what matters the most to you. Now, if you're used to talking to Jesus, another way we go about this is we call this prayer. If you're used to praying, like this is going to be normal to you. During your prayer time this week, tell Jesus the things that matter to you, regardless of how big or small they are, regardless of how serious or how silly they are. But maybe praying to you is something that's completely foreign. Like you don't even know the last time you've prayed, maybe if you've even prayed at all. It's really easy to start. Just go somewhere where you can think clearly and talk to Jesus. And tell him what you care about. Tell him that it's awkward, that it's kind of weird talking and not understanding because you can't hear somebody talking back to you. Tell him that you believe that he's real, but you're still trying to figure out this faith thing. Tell him that you want to know him in a deeper way, but you're trying to figure out what that looks like. Spend some time talking to Jesus this week. Tell him the things that you care about. But remember, this series isn't just about you. This series is about the people in your life. It's not about you having a personal relationship with Jesus. It's also about you having a personal relationship with the people that you share life with. So don't just tell Jesus the things that you care about this week, but this week I want to challenge you to go find other people and find out what they care about. In Philippians, Paul says this, rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. That we should look out for the interests of others. We should care about what the people around us care about. So let me ask you this question. Do you know what matters most to the people that you share life with? Like, do you really truly know what they care about? Have you taken the time to listen to their stories? Have you taken the time to ask them about the things that they're afraid of, to ask them about their dreams? Have you taken time to really listen when they're having a good day or a bad day? Do you know the people in your life? Don't wait for an awkward situation where somebody in your life gets upset because they don't feel like they're understood or heard. Take the initiative right now and care about the people that you care about. I'm challenging you this week, make it personal. Because it is personal. It's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. And you should know what matters in the people that you share life with.
That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and click the links in the description. And remember, if nobody told you they love you today, remember we do and we always will. Bye!
And
Yeah! Yes! You did it!
oh no, Courtney, I forgot to hit record on this. You have to do this.
What if you weren't recording any of ours? So we all go back and do everything? This was all